Alright, so yesterday we got into what an orthographic drawing is. You have a front view, top view, and a side view, and your top and side views face that front view. And the practice activity that we had, let me shrink my face here, that's a practice object, and your orthographic drawing should look like this. Wait a minute, what are these dashed lines for? Well, we're going to be getting into that today. So, an orthographic drawing is essentially meant to show as much information about the object as neatly and clearly as possible. So, drafters adopted different types of lines to convey different information. Let's move that out of the way. So, this is a big list. However, I want to identify hidden lines and dimension lines. These are used to, hidden lines, let's go back to our example, would be if I was a teeny tiny little person and I'm standing right here, okay, and I'm looking at the side of the object. Now, if I'm looking from that side, I can't see the object line or the feature that's hidden behind this tall section. So instead of not including it in the side view, we use a hidden line or a dashed line to show that feature. Dimension lines are what we're getting into next. So for this example, I kind of had to piece it together. We have our orthographic view. So here, I've used dimension lines to write down what the dimensions are. And we do this with the smaller measurements matched up to well, I'll get into the rules, but smaller measurements go closer to the object and larger measurements go further away. So for our class, we have some rules, okay? We only use enough dimensions. We don't duplicate. Why? Because these objects, the front and top views and the front and side views, are aligned. If they are perfectly lined up, I only need to write dimensions once. If they aren't lined up, I can't assume they're the same, and I wouldn't be able to dimension it. So line up your stuff. Dimension to contour. So, in the makeup industry, there is a concept called contouring. Essentially, it's when you use makeup to either accentuate or diminish or reduce features on your face. So let's say Mr. Rutz wants his cheekbones to pop. You could use makeup to make my cheekbones appear wider or something. I don't know. Admittedly, I don't really use contouring. So, how does this relate? Contour is related to, contour with makeup talks about the shape of your face. It's trying to adjust that. Contour for a shape would be a unique the unique appearance of the object. So basically, you're looking at your three orthographic drawings. You got your top, front, and side. Which of these views best shows the unique shape of the object? This is a judgment call, but in this one it's fairly clear. The front view gives us a better idea of what this object looks like. So I'm going to try to put my dimensions on that front view. Group dimensions. So put your dimensions together and try to go between your views. Here's the example of what the practice from yesterday would look like. So we have, let's see. So there's your depth. We have our total width, 1.5, 1 inch. Okay, we got 1/2 inch and we have 1 inch. Now, I never put this dimension here, this extra 1.5 inches. Why? Only enough. Okay, so we want to keep this as limited as possible, and you assume that the person who's looking at this drawing can do simple addition and subtraction. They should be able to figure out a distance given all the other distances. Now you're going to be completing this activity to help you with this. Pay attention to the triangles. Every side of a triangle in the paper, in the background, is 1/4 of an inch. So for an example, here I know it's 1 inch. 1, 2, 3, 4 quarters. 4 quarters, that's 1 inch.